Let's get right into it.
All right, so what we're going to do is cut this. I've already kind of started on. Going to cut this near water. I don't recommend using electric tools near water, but so do it at your own risk. All right, so you can see I've cut a couple pieces here. So you can see, got a little piece here. Now I can just shape this. I might spend a little time on the wheel, we'll see. Okay, so I've kind of shaped it into the shape I want. Now we'll get ready for the silver. I got a little flat piece of silver here. It's probably about 26 gauge roundabout. Just need to flatten it out a little bit here. I'm going to use the double half round. I'll give you a closer look here so you can see it. That is what I will use for the ring material, the part that wraps around your finger, for the bezel, because it will help hold the stone in, and it's just the right height to hide the black part of the triplet. These are rounded pliers that will kind of help make this a decent. And there'll be a little bit of waste, but not, let's see, there'll be a little bit of waste, but not too much waste, so. Right there. And just start filing that until it's straight. And then fit it up to your stone a few times. Will probably be okay right about there, and that plate will sit up there about yay big, so I'm thinking about right there. Out pretty much perfectly, but I saved the waste for other stuff. Okay, and now we're ready to start on. I'm going to file these down and cut them down the middle. All right, so here's a handy little thing here. It has a brass strap here, but it broke, so I just used a pipe clamp to fix it. But this is they call it a ring vise. This can be very handy for certain processes. This is one of them right here. Put this little wedge in here, and then just kind of put it down on the counter. There we go. And just line it up. One thing you want to do to this metal is you want to soak it in a pickle. And there's my pickle solution right there. I think it's a bag per 24 ounces. So you put it in a little old crock pot. You drop the pieces in there, and that will clean up the metal really clean. Get a little flux here, and put just a little dab right there. And I just cut a little piece, and I will put it on there. So to do our bezel, we want to start off with the hard solder. Just cut off a little piece of the hard solder, and then we'll go from medium to easy for each piece. So the hard solder takes a higher temperature to melt, and that way when we solder the second piece together, we will have less likelihood of melting it. So let's do it that way. Now that I have all my pieces ready, we will put them in the pickle, which this is the brand that I bought. I have another brand too over in a box, but this is the pickle for the silver. I've got a little tiny crock pot right there. We'll drop those pieces in there, let that get hot, and that will clean the silver really well and prepare it for the next step. Yeah. I think, yeah, it looks pretty good. So you can see I've dropped some little pieces of silver medium solder in there. I've also put flux in there. There we go. Okay, that looks good. Soldered all the way around. What I like to do is use these type of cutters right here. Good ones. All right, so I've sanded around it pretty good. I may have a little bit more finishing, but it's always good to come back and check the stones fit. There we go. And it's out. And a little on the back here. Okay. I'll put some easy solder on that and get that set up for soldering. Got a strip of solder here. I'm just going to put that right there. Heat the ring up a little bit first. And it looks pretty good. Okay, so it's on there pretty good. Clean it up a little and get it ready for the stone. All right, I got it fitted in there pretty good. Now you just take your brandishing tool, crack my stone, but just to give you an idea, you're just slowly rolling it over. The metal is moving. See, I can't even see this with the camera, but and pushing the stone down in there, working it. So I'll do that for a while and then come back. Here's a little bit how you do the top. Just hold it right there and then push. And you're actually pulling the metal, the loose metal off and stretching the bezel to fit around the stone. And just keep working it like this. See, it's wrapping around the stone more and more. All right, making a little more progress here. See, it's getting tighter. Just about there. All right, I got it fit in there pretty good for now. I'm going to go ahead and polish it up. I just use some tin oxide, mix it with a little water, dip in a little head on the Dremel here, some little cloths, and away we go. Well, there it is, pretty much finished. Certainly not perfect. I've got a lot of cleaning up to do on it, but anyway, you got the general idea. We'll try to do better next time. Thank you for tuning in. Until next time, remember, rockhounds don't die. They petrify.